Part 1. Prologue. The day the Titan met the Swarm. There's a story the ocean still remembers, about a ship so vast, so powerful, that it was said to bend the horizon itself. A floating city of steel, the USS Gerald R. Ford, America's largest and most expensive aircraft carrier. 100,000 tons of precision, nuclear heartbeats, and human faith welded into a single body. It was built not just to sail, but to dominate, to prove that control, human, industrial, military control, could tame the chaos of the sea. They called it unsinkable. A fortress armed with radars that could see through storms, weapons that could intercept shadows, and a crew trained to perfection. Every bolt, every cable whispered one promise: nothing smaller than us could ever bring us down. But then, something small began to move on the horizon. Not one enemy, not one ship, but a cloud, a hum, 1,000 tiny wings made of metal and code. Drones. Swarm. A different kind of intelligence, not born of command, but of connection. And suddenly, the story of war, of power, of the very idea of bigger means stronger, began to tremble. This isn't just about a ship and a swarm. It's about the end of an era, the death of the idea that one single giant can stand against a million small minds. Because what happens when the gods we built out of steel meet the insects we built out of code? Part 2. The Myth of the Titan. The Gerald R. Ford wasn't born from the ocean. It was born from belief. The belief that perfection could be engineered, that the world could be measured in tons and megawatts, and that dominance could be built from blueprints. It took over a decade, billions of dollars, and the weight of a superpower's ambition to forge her. A ship powered by 2 nuclear hearts, able to sail for 25 years without refueling. Her decks are wide enough to launch 75 warplanes. Her radar sees beyond the curvature of the Earth. Her armor layered like geological time. She doesn't just float. She defies gravity with the arrogance of civilization itself. Inside her, there's a kind of sacred order. Every pipe, every code, every man and woman has a purpose. Together they move like one body, a living organism of discipline, of hierarchy, of command. If you listen closely, you can hear the rhythm of modernity beating through her hull. Control, efficiency, certainty. To her creators, she wasn't just a weapon. She was proof that chaos could still be contained, that the age of human mastery had not yet ended. A moving cathedral to the old religion of progress. But myths always carry a flaw, hidden deep beneath their glory. The Titanic believed it could not sink. The Maginot Line believed it could not be bypassed. And the Gerald R. Ford, this titan of the 21st century, believed that the sea could still be ruled by size. Yet size is no longer power. Power has changed shape. It has become smaller, cheaper, faster. It learns, replicates, multiplies. And somewhere beyond the horizon, the first hum of that new kind of power was already rising. A sound too small to notice, too quiet to fear, until it wasn't. Part 3. The Rise of the Iron Swarm. They called them drones, machines without pilots, without fear, without ego. At first, they were toys, the the kind you could buy online, the kind you'd see floating over a concert or a wedding. But technology doesn't stay innocent for long. Someone looked at that toy and saw something else. A weapon that doesn't bleed, doesn't sleep, doesn't question. Soon, the drones began to multiply, faster than ships, cheaper than bullets. They didn't come alone. They came as a swarm. The idea is simple, almost biological. One bee is fragile, but 1,000 bees, thinking together, moving together, can bring down a beast 1,000 times their size. Swarm intelligence doesn't have a leader. There's no captain shouting orders, no admiral plotting on a map. Each unit reacts to the others, adapting, learning, rewriting the rules in real time. A system where chaos becomes coordination, and where power no longer needs permission. It's not just military. Swarm algorithms now run factories, shape financial markets, even influence what you see online. They are the logic of our age. Decentralized, fast, adaptive, and indifferent. In the laboratories of defense contractors and hidden airfields, engineers are building what they call autonomous micro-offense platforms. Tiny, winged computers capable of working together like neurons in a machine brain.
They can map a city, jam communications, or strike a target no human eye can see. And when one fails, when one dies, the others learn from its death. There is something almost poetic, almost tragic about it. Humans spent centuries building empires around hierarchy, control, and chain of command. But our new creations don't need any of that. They speak a language older than us, the language of evolution. Adapt or vanish. Somewhere, far from the gleaming deck of the Gerald R. Ford, thousands of these mechanical insects rise into the air at once. Their wings shimmer in the morning light. To the human eye, it looks like dust, but to the Titan, it's a storm, the kind no radar can truly understand. Part 4. When the Titan met the swarm. Night over the Pacific. The water is so still it feels artificial, like the ocean itself is waiting for something. On the deck of the Gerald R. Ford, a city of metal hums above the waves. Engines purr, radar sweeps, men and women move in silence, lit by the cold pulse of blue screens. It's the choreography of control, a Titan asleep, but dreaming of certainty. Then it happens. A flicker, a blip on the radar, faint, then many. Too small to classify, too fast to be coincidence. The swarm arrives without sound. Thousands of signals, too numerous to target, too agile to predict. To the human eye, just noise. To the ship's sensors, a glitch. To the future, a beginning. The Titan awakens, missiles flare, phalanx guns scream into the dark, throwing molten light across the horizon. Every defense system performs exactly as designed, and yet, somehow, the chaos deepens. The swarm doesn't fight back. It flows, splitting, merging, confusing radar echoes, exploiting the milliseconds between detection and decision. Every move the ship makes, the swarm learns from it, adjusting, reconfiguring, rewriting the rules in real time. For a moment, it feels less like a battle and more like a conversation. Steel against code, instinct against algorithm. Old gods speaking with new ones through fire and static. Then, silence. The sea returns to its mirror calm. No more alarms, no more targets, just the faint hum of systems resetting. The Titan stands unbroken, but its reflection on the water seems different, distorted, watching itself, as if somewhere in that black horizon, the swarm is still out there, not retreating, not defeated, just thinking. And for the first time in its long, perfect life, the Titan wonders what it just taught. Part 5. The Dissection of a Titan. In the dry dock, engineers walk through corridors that smell of salt and electricity. They aren't fixing a vessel, they're examining a belief. Inside, the nuclear hearts still pulse, loyal as ever. Everything works, and yet everyone senses it. Something vital has gone still. Not in the steel, in the story. For a century, we trusted order to defeat chaos. But the swarm was never just a threat. It was a reflection. Our code. Our hunger to control what cannot be controlled. Somewhere offshore, a lone drone still circles, transmitting, not attacking, learning, remembering. Maybe that's the real ending. The Titan survives, but the world that built it doesn't. If something this mighty can be humbled by code, what about us? Maybe power never vanished. It simply changed its shape and stopped needing us. So stay with me, because the next story isn't about war. It's about what comes after us. Subscribe before the swarm learns from you, too.